From Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Good evening. I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us here this evening. We do start with the primary election day here in Utah. Thousands of people across the state heading to the polls to cast their ballots. We are covering some of the high-stakes local elections tonight. The Ogden mayoral primary stands to narrow the field down to just 2 candidates from 7. And some voters will have a chance to pick the Republican nominee for House District 2, setting the stage to pick outgoing Congressman Chris Stewart's replacement come November. ABC4 News is bringing you team coverage of Utah's primary elections happening across the state. Northern Utah correspondent Kate Garner is live in Ogden tracking the city's hotly contested race for mayor there. Our Southern Utah correspondent Garrett James is in St. George, where seats on the city council are on the ballot. But first, let's check in with ABC4's Annika Johns, who's joining us live from the Salt Lake County Government Center with what looks like a ballot box just behind her. Annika, what's the turnout been there?
Emily, so far it's been a little slow, but it has been steady as people make their way here to the Salt Lake Government Center to drop off their ballots. But not only can they do that here, they can also go inside and vote in person if they want to do so. With only 2 hours left until the polls close, the clock is ticking to get ballots in before it's too late. Salt Lake County has 12 locations where individuals who wish to vote in person can do so. But if you don't feel like coming in person, you can get mail in the ballot or swing by one of Salt Lake County's 24 ballot boxes scattered across the county. And if you're curious in seeing more of the election process, Salt Lake County Clerk Lanny Chapman says that if anyone has any questions about voting or how the ballots are handled, that you can swing by later this evening to see how they count the votes.
Come on down, come watch the process. We're open for observers anytime during elections to watch how we actually process ballots, and you can get firsthand experience.
So the polls close at 8 p.m. tonight. So like I said earlier, you have about 2 hours until it is cut off. So make sure you get here and turn in your ballot before then. If you're looking for a place to find or to turn in that ballot, we have a full list of the ones in Salt Lake County on our website at abc4.com. Reporting live from Salt Lake, Annika Johns, ABC4 News.
All right, Annika, we thank you for your coverage. Our team coverage of the primary election continues now to Weber County, where there are 4 primary elections, including the Ogden mayoral race. Our very own Kate Garner is at the elections office. And Kate, how's it looking there?
Emily, it's kind of calm right now. Now, during primary elections, we always expect to see lower voter turnout. But with Mayor Mike Caldwell stepping down here in Ogden and 7 candidates hoping to take his position, you would think that we would see high voter turnout. But only about 23% of eligible voters here in Ogden have cast their ballot so far. Now, the elections office here in Weber County is projecting that total voter turnout for the entire county will peak at 25 to 30%, with an estimated 5% choosing to vote in person today. The county clerk, Ricky Hatch, says they are a little surprised with the turnout for this election because there are those 7 candidates we were talking about in the Ogden mayoral race with no incumbent. Now, today's election will narrow down those candidates from 7 to the top 2. And election workers are already counting mail-in ballots. They will start counting in-person ballots tomorrow.
I suspect the results tonight will represent about 85% of total votes cast. By this Friday, we should be at 99% reported.
Now, the clock is counting down. There's only 2 hours left. Voters can drop off their ballot at one of 4 drop boxes across the city, or they can still come into the polling place. There's only one here in Weber County, here at the Weber Center in Ogden, to vote in person. Again, the polling places and the drop boxes all close at 8 o'clock. Live in Ogden, Kate Garner, ABC4 News.
Kate, thank you. We'll be keeping an eye on Ogden as those results do roll in. So we continue our election coverage this evening. We're going to check in with Southern Utah correspondent Garrett James, who joins us live from St. George, where polls there have been busy. Garrett, what's bringing people to the polls in Washington County today, though?
You know, there's been a few things that have been bringing people to the polls today. And a few of those things are there are a lot of seats for city council members and town council members as well throughout a lot of places in southern Utah, St. George being one of those locations. In fact, a voter I spoke with today told me that it was important for them to vote today because 3 new city council positions are up for grabs, and they feel as if the current city council will not let them speak up during city council meetings. It isn't the only position on the ballot, as there are a number of city and town council positions to vote on, as well as the District 2 seat.
Well, that was a big one, but then also we are picking a state representative to replace Stewart. So that was important. And I think that I picked a good one.
And your vote always matters. So there's still time, like Annika and Cade said, you still have 2 hours to get out to the polls. And if you do want to come out in Washington counties, there are 2 primary locations that you can do that. The Dixie Convention Center, which is right behind me, as well as in Hurricane at the Hurricane Community Center. Live at the Dixie Community Center, Garrett James, ABC4 News.